Yo, what's up guys? How you all doing? I'm doing a new little series of tutorials. Just basically need something to do while we wait for this big update which has been pushed back. So I'm going to start it off with an iron farm. What I'm planning on doing is, well, I'm going to try my best to explain how all of these things actually work rather than just here's the farm, copy me, and it'll work. Nah, I'm gonna try and explain, um, you know, just sort of the mechanics behind these particular farms. As you can see, this one's chucking out the golems, pretty few every couple of minutes. It's made of easy stuff, easy materials, great starter iron farm before you go mental. All the villagers are connected. They aren't causing any problems at all. They will find their beds. They don't get stuck. They will get up and go to work. I mean, I've tried my best to break this thing, but it's pretty good. Right, so your first rule is you want to be 100 blocks plus away from any villages, any beds, any workstations, if you want the golems to behave. And I'm going to place down 10 beds in here, 10 workstations, and then I'm going to get 10 villagers. I've got a nitwit and a baby. The nitwit's useless, he doesn't count, and the baby can't work, so he doesn't count. So you want all your villagers to be adults and no nitwits, or you'll get no golems. He knows I'm making a tutorial. I find this part to be quite important. You want your villagers to go to sleep at least once and connect to their bed, and they've got to have good access to their bed and good access to their workstations so they don't disconnect, because that is just the worst in iron farms. Now you can go ahead and place down 10 more beds. That means you have 10 villagers with 10 jobs and 20 beds, which is all you need to spawn iron golems. And it shouldn't take too long. They need to do their job, and then, yeah, there you go. Then they decide, we need a golem, and your golem will spawn. So now that's all you need to know. How to spawn an iron golem. You know everything now. You can experiment with adding more villagers, more beds, more workstations. I think it goes in increments of 10, so sometimes you'll end up with 2 golems, sometimes 3 golems. But what we're doing right now should give you 1 golem at a time. So we've got that done. Now we need to know where the golems will spawn. Right, so you've got to forgive me for the mess that I'm about to make, but I'm going to try and use some red stained glass to give you guys an idea of this. Now, your village will pick a block. It's either going to be a workstation or the pillow end of a bed, and that is going to be classed as your village centre. Now, for argument's sake, we're going to pretend our village centre is in the middle of our village. It usually is, to be fair. So now what it does is it creates a 16 by 16 by 6 area. Basically, the game looks inside that square and tries to find what a golem can spawn on, and it will spawn. They'll only spawn on solid blocks. I've seen them spawn on glass, so leaves are your best friends with this build. And they won't spawn up there with the villagers because it's not tall enough for them. So now you know how and where iron golems will spawn. Let's make a farm. Right, same rule as last time. I'm over 100 blocks away from the other village, and we'll start off with our collection, which is just a double chest and 4 hoppers. And we're going to surround that in glass. You could use any block that you want, but you you can see through glass, and I like watching golems die, so that's what I'm going to do. Now we've got a 1 block gap between the hoppers and the next level, so we'll drop in 1 more layer of glass here. Use any stone buttons, don't use the wood buttons if you've got fire spread on your game, and then go up another level and put your lava in. Now you only need 1 lava, but I'm using 4 because it just looks nicer. And then go over the top of that, corners as well, in any solid block you want. And now we've got to start counting, so we're going to come out 9 and then go up 1, break the block. So you should end up with 8 to the hole, which is as far as water spreads. Do that on all 4 sides, and you should end up with something looking like this. Now what we want to do is turn that into a square, which is pretty self-explanatory really. Square's done, and now I want to spawn proof this from the golems especially, with just a layer of leaves wrapped around the top. And then we want a solid block in each corner. Well, if you're doing this on survival, I suggest not putting the water in until last, and I'd go as far as to block this off and mark it so you don't fall in and have any accidents. Right, this is where the fun begins. Now I want a 3 block gap from the base of this thing, so that is the 3rd block, and then I want to put slabs on top. This is because we want our golems to actually fit under it, and I want to come out another 4 each side, so you should end up with a 10 by 2. Let's get the 4 over here, and again, and then I can go ahead and get rid of these, and that is that's the start. Now I want to come out 2 blocks, any side, it doesn't matter which side. This thing is it's not orientated to work, so that's 2 solid blocks, and then I can go ahead and put beds on those blocks. Now this bit is important. Put your beds down this way, not this way. You don't want the villagers waking up the wrong way. You want them bouncing towards their workstations, not away from them. That bit is important. And now you can go and get rid of these blocks, and that's step 1 done. Opposite side of the beds we want a row of leaves, so that is 10 leaf blocks, and then we want to do our workstations on top of them, so we've got 10 of them. And we want to do a ring of leaves. Try not to compost your leaves like I did. Yeah, so we're going to build up a ring of leaves around this thing, and try not to sleep in the bed either, that would help. Right, sweet. So from here we want to come up 2 blocks. 3rd block is the roof, 2 blocks wide. This will stop the iron golems spawning on those slabs. And now we want to get our 10 villagers in here, and we definitely add the leaves on the edges there. It helps stop the villagers sleeping in the corners from eternally bouncing around and doing nothing. Now what you could do is just get 2 villagers up here and breed them until you've got 10, but you don't want more than 10. Then they start fighting over beds and workstations, and it ends up getting into a mess. So feed them bit by bit, just until you've got 10, and no more, no less. Right, so you've got your 10 villagers in. Your next step, before you place any more beds, is to come out 2 blocks this side. This is going to be for our next set of beds, but we don't want to place them yet. What we want to do now is get these 10 villagers connected to beds that are already there. So I'm just going to set it tonight, get them all asleep. Wicked. They've got enough room to scramble around each other. And now watch this. Boom, see? They popped up that way. Now if your beds was the wrong way around, you'd be screwed and they'd be stuck. Now we can drop in the next 10 beds, and now we've met all the criteria for iron golems to spawn. But like I said earlier, they're not going to spawn until these guys actually go to work. And now we can get on with water. Right, water source blocks on top of each corner, and be careful, you don't want to waterlog those leaves. That is just a pain and annoying to clear up. So we've done that. Now we want to be careful, the 2 blocks either side of the corners, we do not want to put buckets in. So we start here, go all the way across, everyone can make an infinite water source. Easy. And skip that block. All the way around. As long as you skip those 2 blocks, you'll be alright. Now that's done, we can go ahead and get rid of these blocks, and we should see if everything's alright. No water's gone into the lava, and that's your farm finished. And it should start working straight away. If it doesn't, just leave it another night. Those villagers might need to sleep, reset, go to work. Make sure those other 10 beds are counted into the village, and this thing should fire up, and there you go. You've got a great source of iron, a perfect early game, cheap, efficient iron farm. Until you get like further along and then you want to build one of those big old crazy ones. Obviously you want to protect your villagers from lightning and being turned into witches, so you could just go up a level with leaves, you know, make sure they're not spawnable obviously. Lightning's really bugged at the moment though, so I don't really know effects. I've had villagers at Y level 5 or 6 and lightning has like managed to shoot straight through the earth and turn them into witches. It's really bugged, but you know, this guy's working great. I'm happy with it. I want to know down in the comments, what do you think of me making little tutorials, and was I understandable? Could you follow me decently? That's not too shabby. I've only been here like half an hour or so. Anyway, peace out guys, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next episode.